Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for this Yes Prep Virtual College Fair. We are so excited to have you participating in this event, and we have some fantastic schools with us here today. My name is Jeannie, and I will be your facilitator, but before we get started, I have just a few housekeeping items for you all. First of all, you might notice that your camera and your mics are both off for this event. Unfortunately, our panelists cannot see or hear you. However, we do have a Q&A function for you to use. So find that button on your screen and you can use that throughout the entire event. You don't have to wait until a certain institution is presenting. If you have questions for any and all of our institutions here, go ahead and use that Q&A function. As you know, hopefully this is one of many different sessions happening, so check out that schedule and see if there are others you want to join as well. But this presentation, along with all of the others, are being recorded, and you can find those at strivescan.com/yesprep. I will put that in the chat as well, so if you want to check out the recordings, you can do so at a future time. But now on to our main event. I am going to turn it over to our first presenter. We're going to hear from first Baylor University. Take it away whenever you're ready.
All right, guys, how are y'all doing today? I realize that's kind of a redundant question without a chat, but I thought I'd like to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Alejandro Cano, and I am the admissions counselor for Baylor University in North and West Houston. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be putting my email in the chat. So feel free to contact me with any questions that you have about this presentation or anything else that we may not get to cover today. So go ahead and get started with myself, right? So this is a fun slide I have for myself, just kind of who I am. Again, I am the admissions counselor for North and West Houston, but I was also a student as of a couple months at Baylor University. So in the middle, you'll see my graduation pictures with my fiance. You'll get to see on the very left, just some pictures that we got to take in the marching band full of Smurfs. And then on the right, just a couple of my friends exploring downtown Waco. There's a lot of fun in downtown Waco, which brings me to my next point. Baylor University is located in Waco, Texas, which is about 2.5 hours from where we are right now. Again, I was originally from Katy, so for me, it's about 2.5 hours. I'm not entirely too sure how much it is from where you guys are at, but the reason I use that slide and this slide in conjunction is to really show that we're a medium-sized school, right? You can see all of our academic facilities here, but also we have the amazing resources of a larger state institution. So we have over 120 majors and programs. We have amazing research opportunities. And then we still have the small class sizes that you really, really wanting out of a college experience, right? It's really not going to be too different than when you guys were in high school or at Yes Prep. Now, some of our more popular majors are going to be pre-med. Again, pre-med isn't a major, so you would be going into maybe biology, health science studies, or anything of that nature, and just making sure to get pre-med attached on top of it. Now we have the Paulo Foster Campus for Business and Innovation. So this is going to be home to all of our business majors, whether that be accounting, finance, marketing. There's plenty of great opportunities, not only at the bachelor's level, but also if you're interested in getting your master's as well. Now, it's not just about academics, right? We've got a lot of amazing traditions over at our campus. We're actually celebrating probably one of my favorite traditions right now, which is homecoming. So homecoming is going to be this weekend, and that's going to be full with a bonfire that Friday night, celebrating all of our alumni coming back home and really getting to share their Baylor experiences with us. In addition, that Saturday morning, we'll also be having the homecoming parade. They'll be able to see on that left picture right over there, myself in the marching band. I remember waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning to make it to that homecoming parade, but it is a lot of fun getting to see all of the student organizations really getting the opportunity to showcase themselves, showcase their love for Baylor University through not only downtown Waco, but also through the heart of campus as well. And then of course it all ends with that Baylor homecoming game that you do see a little bit. You see the people in the stands right there on the right slide. Now, what you're wondering what the thing in the middle is, that is called Baylor University Sing. We have a bunch of off-Broadway productions that students and student organizations get to put on, and ultimately they really enjoy it. They have about 10 minutes to really create about a 3-song show, and it's a really cool experience to really just get to see other student organizations get involved and really have fun. Now, so more about our student organizations. We have over 350 student organizations. So whether that means intramurals, whether that means multicultural affairs, whether that means just the whatever club where they're down to do whatever, anything that you're really looking for. I think the most important thing that whenever you start looking for in a college is going to be its academics and the community that you'll be able to find within. So joining one of our amazing 350 student organizations, for me, it was marching band. For me, that was the ability for me to really get to know a bunch of people and to really get integrated into Baylor's community, right? So again, with the multicultural affairs, that is an amazing experience to really get to know about one another, really get to experience and really get to know about different people's cultures. So really take advantage of joining those multicultural affairs, those multicultural organizations, and especially go to the Baylor Mixer that we have at the very beginning of the school year. And as you'll see as a common thread throughout today, our presenters is going to be that we're an apologetically Christian university. So that means we do have some Christian requirements with 2 semesters of chapel and 2 semesters of other Christian history classes. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to email me, or again, use the Q&A function. I'll get to it after this presentation. Now, how do we apply to Baylor University, right? One of the most important things to me is going to be that November 1st deadline. I know we still have a couple of days, a couple of weeks in order to achieve that November 1st deadline. So for me, the most important thing is to decide how you apply. That is one of the biggest things that I'll always say for people. That's the biggest hurdle, is just to start applying, right? So choose how you want to apply, whether it's Go Baylor, the Common App, or Apply Texas. All of them are going to be free for us, so it doesn't matter which one you do. We have the November 1st deadline and the February 1st deadline, but again, I highly implore you guys to go for that November 1st deadline. Regardless of how you apply, you're going to create a Go Baylor account. That Go Baylor account is going to be your hub for everything from scholarships, financial aid, secondary applications such as the honors program, or anything like that. What you'll have to submit in order to be considered for admission is going to be your transcript, your high school transcript, an essay, your information, and also if you're going SAT optional or ACT optional, then send us your scores if you're going required. Now, recommended items, I cannot tell you guys how important it is to have recommended items. So please have those whenever you submit. So the resume, letters of recommendation, short answer. Now, our early action is the non-binding one, and early decision is the binding one. So if you have any questions, more specifics about that, please let me know. And again, I'll leave my information right here on this slide real quick. So always contact us either through my email or that general counselor phone, right? I'm out and about on a lot of visits, so maybe I'm not in my office. So that's always a great number to reach out to if you have any questions that maybe aren't so specific to me, but if you do have questions for me, feel free to use my email. Gotcha. Well, thank you guys. And again, if you have any questions, please let me know in the Q&A or afterwards in my email.
Fantastic. What a great way to get us started today, Baylor University. Thank you so much for that. We're going to keep it going, and we're going to hear from Illinois Wesleyan University next. Take it away when you're ready.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Casey Evans, and I am our Associate Dean of Admissions here at Illinois Wesleyan, and excited to tell you a little bit more about our institution. So we are a small private liberal arts university. A little confusing with our name. We are actually not religiously affiliated, so a little different maybe than some of the other groups that you'll hear from today. But certainly we welcome students of all backgrounds and all religions on our campus. We have approximately 1,700 students on campus, and we're undergrad only. So that undergrad only feature is really important to us as an institution. Really, it means from day one, you're going to be the top student on campus. All of our resources and all of our opportunities are going to be funneled directly to that undergraduate experience. So if you have an opportunity where you want to perform on the stage or you want to conduct research, all of those funding options will go directly to you as an undergrad. That being said, even though we are smaller, we do still have quite a bit of campus space. So we're about 82 acres of space with a number of residence halls, a number of academic buildings. So really more of a small class size, medium physical space, and then we're in a big college town. So we are located in the town of Bloomington Normal. We are about 2.5 hours south of Chicago, with 2.5 hours northeast of St. Louis. So to kind of position you there for us, we are a very suburban feeling town. So lots of things that you would find in a typical suburban area, you would find here, and then a quick train ride to any of those locations if you want to go for a bigger city experience. We're also right down the street from Illinois State University, so we have that big college town feel with a really supportive community. Lots of fun stuff in town, you know, whether you're looking for a concert scene or a performing arts scene to rock climbing and outdoorsy activities. Our Constitution Trail is really popular with our students and a great place to go and rollerblade or bike or however you want to spend your day. As an institution, we do have 3 colleges on our campus. So that's the fact that makes us a university as opposed to a college, is the 3 separate colleges on our campus. For us, those are the School of Nursing. Our School of Nursing has 100% job placement for now the past 20 years. So I'm guessing older than most of the students in the room have been alive. Our nurses have been getting great jobs, which is awesome. The College of Liberal Arts is going to be your traditional liberal arts, as well as a division of business. So think your natural and social sciences, your humanities, all of that sort of thing. And then we also have a really excellent College of Fine Arts. So our performance students in music and theater, and then our students in graphic design and 2D and 3D art as well fall under that school. If you are interested at all in study abroad, it is very, very popular on our campus, and I hope that you will consider taking advantage of that opportunity. Approximately 41% of our students will study abroad at some point in time. So whether you're looking for, a shorter term experience, we can go for just the month of May during what we call our May term. You could go for a full year. One of my favorite full year programs is out of Pembroke College at Oxford University. So we're one of 12 US institutions that are invited to send those visiting students. Or maybe you just want to do a signature program through the school. So our IWU London and IWU Spain program are set up for those. Great opportunities. One last plug on study abroad is that we also have an internship over the summer that is fully funded. So that's really the best way to go. You're fully funded. You get a stipend while you're there from the companies, plus you're getting that internship experience. Our students are very involved on campus. We're definitely not the kind of place where you're just going to go to class and then come home and that be it for the day. We kind of joke that we're the and university, that you can be involved in orchestra and be doing research in the sciences and be on the student government. So definitely the kind of place where if you have multiple interests, multiple involvements, we can keep that up and really get you dedicated to whatever it is that's going to fit your interest here on campus. So we'd love to see you excel in multiple areas. We do have Titan Athletics, so we're a Division III school for Titan Athletics, 24 varsity sports with now 9 national championship winners since '97. And we're really proud to be among the top 30 institutions across all NCAA divisions for academic All-Americans. So we're going to put a big focus on balancing the academics as well as your athletic competition so that you can really be that kind of partnership between being a student and an athlete on campus. A big sell for us and a big thing that's really important to us is your success after college. So I know that none of y'all are looking for a full-time job today, so don't let that stress you out. But hopefully the end goal will be getting that full-time job and that next step. So we're really proud for the 2nd year in a row to be rated #1 in the state of Illinois, but more importantly, #7 in the US of all US universities for getting a job. So that's super important to us. We want to make sure that you're set up for success and well connected to your communities. And that way you can make sure that you're really building your career while you're studying here on campus. Financial aid is really important. So each student is going to automatically receive a scholarship by applying to the institution. Those range from $10,000 to $34,000 per year. Once you receive your scholarship, it's locked in. We'll renew it every single year in full as long as you keep a 3.0 GPA. And then on average, you can expect at least half of tuition to be covered by our own in-house scholarships and grants. So that doesn't include anything that you would be receiving external to the university or anything from federal aid as well. So definitely something we can work one-on-one as you get to that point. And then lastly, I hope that you'll reach out, come visit campus. We'd love to meet you and see you. You can see my contact information on the screen, and then I will also drop our visit link into the chat. So I'd love to meet you and answer any questions that you have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Illinois Wesleyan University. All right, another great presentation. We're going to keep them rolling here. I want to remind everyone that that Q&A function is live as we turn it over now to Ouachita Baptist University. Take it away.
Hey everyone, I'm glad to be here. I'm also down in Houston actually right now. I've been going to college fairs, so I'm sharing virtually from Houston. Super excited about that. Let me get this in full view. I am actually the counselor for Ouachita Baptist University in the greater Texas area, which includes Houston, but basically everything that's not in DFW. So I will be working with you guys as you're thinking through the college search process, but also starting to apply for admission, but also scholarships. We do almost everything in the admissions office. I'm like your go-to gateway person for any questions or processes that we'll be working through here. First and foremost, I do want to address that it is hard to pronounce Ouachita, especially if you've never seen the word before. It's O-U-A, but it makes the W sound. We are in the foothills of the Ouachita Mountains in Arkansas, as well as on the Ouachita River. So that's where our name comes from. It's a Native American word. So ultimately, it's more of a W sound, not that O sound. We have a whole YouTube video, that's what's pictured here about it, because we get really funny pronunciations sometimes. So if you have a chance to watch that, that would be really funny. We are located in Arkansas. The town is called Arkadelphia. It's a little bit more of a rural area, but it's beautiful. We're called the natural state for a reason because of all of the natural bodies of water. If you want to get on the river, the lake, there's a lot of that in our area. We're near Hot Springs, Arkansas. There's also the ability to like go camping, hiking, hunting, fishing, pretty much anywhere within about an hour's drive of us, even on campus too. So if that outdoorsy feel is something that you're interested in, Arkadelphia is a great location. We're about 6.5 hours from the Houston area. So not as far as maybe you're thinking all of Arkansas would be. We have 1,550 residential students on campus this year and actually had our first record enrollment, total enrollment of 1,764. That includes a couple of online grad programs and just online programs. But that's really exciting for us. We're growing a little bit and in turn getting to build some new buildings and apartments. But 95% of our students live on campus. That's a big deal for us. We really just don't have a big commuting population. And that means that our students, freshmen through senior year, are either living in dorms or junior and senior year applying to live in campus apartments. So your community is going to be right there with you where you're living, eating, going to class, all 4 years. We are in the NCAA Division II Great American Conference, have 16 different sports. And because we're a smaller school, that means that 1/4 of our campus is actually going to be a student athlete. So our student athletes are getting the same resources as far as like academics or mental health counseling. As our regular non-athletic students, they're also going to be graduating, getting into jobs, getting into graduate schools at the same rates as our students that are not student athletes. So when you're thinking about outcomes, those are going to be the same actually for our student athletes. That means that we've got a 12-to-1 student to faculty ratio, but I do like to point out that the average class size is just 18. We literally don't have lecture halls on campus that seat hundreds of people. Also, more than 98% of our students are getting financial aid from Ouachita, from the institution. That doesn't even include any federal aid, state aid, private aid that we'll be looking at as well. But our merit scholarships are quite large. That's something that you would be eligible for senior year upon acceptance. We are the #2 regional college in the South, and I like to point out for this one as well that the South is quite a large area for U.S. News and World Report. I think #1 is actually in South Carolina. So just kind of thinking through what kind of environment you're going to be living in whenever you're choosing a college. It's important to be thinking through how the students feel about their college. So we also were named the highest student satisfaction rate in Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana by College Consensus last year. 98% of our students are in a job or in a graduate program within 6 months after graduation. So you know that your education holds a lot of worth, your networking, your career services hold a lot of worth. We want to get you where you're working to be after the 4 years that you're getting a degree with us. We do have a very high freshman to sophomore retention rate and graduation rate. This year particularly, it's our record highs at Ouachita, which we're also very, very excited about. So those are 2 particular rates that are important to be looking at it when you're discussing college options as well. We do have over 60 majors in 7 academic schools, and the Discover program listed there at the bottom is actually a new-ish program for us that helps students who are undeclared come in and figure out what they're interested in doing, whether that be I have a few options that I'm interested in and I need help deciding, or I just have no clue what's even out there. I need to figure out what I'm interested in. We've got a spectrum of students that are coming through the Discover program in their first and second years at Ouachita. Our strongest programs, I don't like to answer that particular question, but we certainly have big programs. The biggest school right now is going to be that Natural Sciences School of Study, as well as Business, Christian Studies, and Education in close second as far as students that are coming in and graduating in those departments. Student life is big on our campus. We want you to have lots of fun things to do on the and in times. We have over 60 clubs and organizations to join. Social clubs for us are similar to sororities and fraternities, but they are just on Ouachita's campus. We have intramural sports, student senate, a very big honors program for students that are interested in writing an academic thesis. We have a big event called Tiger Tunes. And again, we are close to a lot of really awesome outdoorsy things to do. Spiritual life is big on Ouachita's campus as well. We have weekly worship services, chapel service, discipleship and Bible study opportunities, service opportunities, mission trips, and even a hands-on semester that's specific to missions for our study abroad program. We also have a rivalry with the school right across the street called Henderson State University, called the Battle of the Ravine. The beanie ceremony is what you see pictured on the right there for our freshmen that are coming in during their orientation week. And twerk week is just something that's Pardon?
I'm so sorry to cut you off. Could you advance to your final slide and let folks know how they can get all of this other information, because we are past our time now.
Okay. That is my contact information again. I'll put it in the chat.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I know this time flies by. It's not nearly enough, but hopefully this was a taste and y'all can reach out to learn more. We're going to keep it rolling now and hear from Samford University. Whenever you are ready, take it away.
Perfect. Can everyone see? Can you see that? Jeannie? Okay, awesome. Well, welcome everyone. I'm so excited to have all of y'all here to hear about Samford today. First, I want to talk a little bit about our traditions on campus. So we are deeply rooted in tradition. We have a couple of traditions like step sing and lighting of the way, which is our Christmas tradition that have been happening for hundreds of years. So it's really fun to be a part of a lot of activities and events that have been going on for lots of time, but also a lot of events on campus that have been started by students that are your year or a couple years ahead of you, excuse me. And also something new and exciting happening on our campus right now is we have a new president. His name is Dr. Beck Taylor. So him and his wife joined us over the summer. We're just really excited for all of the new innovation to come to our campus. He was actually the old dean of our business school over 10 years ago. So we're just inviting an old friend back to campus. A little bit about us. We're a medium-sized university, so it puts us in a unique spot to have about 4,000 undergraduate students and 5,700 with grad programs, where when I'm talking to a bunch of Texas students, it's nice to point out that we have 70% of our students that are out of state. So you will not be alone on our campus. I am actually from Texas as well. I'm from the Austin area. So we have a very large portion of our student body from Texas. So you can have some friends to caravan back with you to Houston. Since we are a small university, we have the opportunity to have a small faculty to student ratio. And so it's 13:1 right now. And our average class size is about 18 students. So you're going to get that really small, intentional education on a Christian campus, but there's also lots of opportunities to have that kind of big school experience as well. So we have 20 intramurals, intramural sports and clubs. So some of those include football, volleyball, and then we have some odd ones like pool and spike ball, and one year we had bubble soccer. So lots of fun ones that they'll add throughout the year as well. And something that we feel is really important is embracing the study abroad experiences on campus. So about 43% of our students will study abroad within their 4 years at Samford. So we have 50 programs in 13 countries. We actually own a house in London called the Daniel House, and it is about 2 streets away from Kensington Palace. So a really unique opportunity to study all throughout the year in London. And next, we have a little big school field. So although we have a small average class size, we also have 17 Division I sports, and our on-campus community rallies around them and supports them in every sport that we have. And we also have 166 student organizations on campus. So a couple weeks ago, we were actually ranked #1 in the nation for student engagement. So one aspect of that is involvement on campus and kind of just putting deep roots down and investing in the Samford experience. So those 166 organizations range from our 14 Greek letter organizations to last semester I was walking across campus and there was a blacksmithing club meeting. So you never know what you're going to see on campus, but that's just what makes it so much fun. And there's everything in between. And we like to say, if there isn't something on campus that you're interested in, you can get your 5 closest friends to start it with you. You have to have 6 people, but you can start a club at any time in your 4 years at Samford. So we actually now have 184 majors, minors, and concentrations on campus. So there's pretty much everything that is like a normal major that we have. The only school that we don't have is engineering, but we have a physics engineering program. And then we also have a 97% undergraduate employment or in higher education rate. So in 2019, our seniors were employed or in higher education within 6 months of graduation. And in the middle of COVID last year, it was at 95%. Now moving on to our admission timeline. A couple important dates to point out. 2 of them have already passed. The first one, our application opens August 1st. So any juniors on here, that's just a date to remember. And then next is that October 1st is when the FAFSA opened. I highly recommend doing that, and just gives us a fuller picture of your family's ability to pay for college. And then the next one is not a deadline, but November 1st is when we first start rolling out admissions. So no one will hear if they're accepted to Samford before November 1st. But if you apply before then, you will hear that first week of November. And then the third is actually a deadline, December 1st. That is our first scholarship deadline. So that's when we're going to give most of our money out. And you will hear about your scholarship package reward before Christmas. And then the components of our application. Number 1, of course, application. We are on the Common App and we have the Samford application as well. We do require an essay. And if you go through the Common App, there is no additional essay. So just whichever one you fill out on there. Test scores we're test optional this year. And we require a high scored transcript and recommendations. I'm just going to run through this really quick. We have scholarships you don't have to do an extra application for. And these are the ones that you do have an extra application. So everyone will pretty much qualify for the Davis, but our minister dependent, your parent has to be a minister. And then need-based aid as well. And lastly, our mission on campus is for God, for learning forever. So we are an unapologetically Christian university, and we would love to have you visit. And here is my information if you would like to reach out and contact me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Samford University. We are going to keep on rolling with this. And I just want to remind everyone that Q&A function is live. So if you didn't hear some information, you need some more, make sure you submit those questions as we turn it over now to Texas Baptist College. Take it away whenever you are ready.
Been a long time since Zoom. Hello, everyone, and good morning. My name is Lucas Hahn. I serve as the Director of Admissions for Southwestern Seminary and Texas Baptist College. You'll see our website, and that's kind of what I'll walk through, just very high level for you. But first, I want to talk about who we are. So if you're familiar with Texas Baptist College or Southwestern Seminary, just walk through who we are, talk about some of our programs that we offer, scholarship information, and then finish up with kind of next steps. So Texas Baptist College, you'll see here on the main homepage of our website, we are the undergraduate school of Southwestern Seminary. We are located in Fort Worth, Texas. So in the DFW Metroplex, not too far away from you all in Houston. What the undergraduate school of Southwestern Seminary means is that Texas Baptist College is a sister school or the undergraduate school of Southwestern Seminary. So as a institution, we are a part of the Southern Baptist Convention, which is a very prominent Protestant denomination across the country. So students who are interested oftentimes in Southwestern Seminary and Texas Baptist College are students who are going to be ministerially minded in that they are considering how the Lord might be working in their life to equip them, to train them, to send them out to serve the church, to be a missionary, to be a biblical counselor, and then potentially also to serve in the secular workplace. And so Texas Baptist College also just recently was rebranded. Some of you who might be tuning in maybe have heard of or are familiar with Scarborough College, which was the former name of Texas Baptist College. And earlier this year in June of 2021, we moved from Scarborough College to Texas Baptist College at Southwestern Seminary. And so that's maybe helpful in some situations in case you've heard of Scarborough and you're like, I've never heard of Texas Baptist College. So we're the same thing, just rebranded and kind of repackaged who we are to focus in on these three distinctives that you see on the homepage of our website. So talking about who we are, since we are a part of the Southern Baptist Convention and Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary, we are a Christian college committed to these three primary distinctives that you see. So being Christ-centered, scripture-driven, and student-focused. When we think about a Christian college, and particularly Texas Baptist College, students who oftentimes come here or who are interested in Texas Baptist College are, again, those students who have some sort of kind of vocational calling in their life, particularly to serve the local church or to serve in an international or domestic missions context. With Christ-centered and scripture-driven, what this means is at the start of your time at Texas Baptist College, throughout the whole entire 4-year or 5-year period, you're going to see that both the faculty and staff that you're learning from and the students that you're studying alongside are going to be Christ-minded and Christ-focused in how they are seeking to live their lives, how they're seeking to glorify Him, how they're seeking to be equipped, and then ultimately sent out according to the Great Commission. In doing so, in the classroom, we are going to be scripture-driven in that when we think about a philosophical view of education or a pedagogical view of education, we're thinking about the biblical worldview, the Christian worldview, and particularly what Scripture says about who we are, how we are supposed to operate, what is a true human flourishing, and then how do we go out and represent Christ well. And so in your classrooms, you're going to be really starting point blank with Scripture in terms of what you're learning, how you're learning it, the lens by which you are learning, whatever the topic may be, whether that's something like counseling or something like hermeneutics, how to study the Bible, or something as simple even as like business or humanities or liberal arts and those types of things. And then the third distinctive that's listed there is that we're student focused. And so start to finish, our end goal is for you to look more like Christ, less like the world throughout your time as a student at Texas Baptist College. And so that looks like obviously the academic side of things, and then the spiritual formation and transformation side of how you're going to be shaped and molded and discipled and mentored by faculty who are here, by upperclassmen who are investing in your lives in student life events and in the resident halls and across campus, and more importantly, in your local church in the DFW Metroplex, and how you're plugged in there. And so those are kind of our three distinctives of who we are, how we're associated with Southwestern Seminary and formerly Scarborough College. Now, briefly, I just want to go over our different degree programs that we offer. Since we are a school primarily focused towards ministry preparation or vocational calling, we have a few number of degrees. We haven't grown into or expanded into things like nursing, so medical, nursing, STEM related programs, those types of things. As of right now, we're kind of focused in on how can we equip students who, again, primarily want to serve the church and who are serious about the gospel. And so listed out here, we have 2 associate's degrees, a Bachelor of Arts in Christian Studies, Bachelor of Arts in Humanities. and then 2 Bachelor of Music degrees, 1 in performance and 1 in worship studies. We also just announced about a month ago a new Bachelor of Arts in Christian Studies, a 5-year program that would be basically a 3+2, where you do through 3 years of your undergraduate work. The last 2 years, you would be doing Master of Divinity or Master of Arts in Christian Education through the seminary that we are on the same campus of. So it'd be a 5-year program where you get your bachelor's and master's degree within that window of time. And so these are our different programs. Again, we're starting from a point of how does Scripture inform who we are and how does it educate us. So the core program or core curriculum for each program is going to be centered around a little more in depth than maybe a different Christian college. So you're going to have Old and New Testament surveys, of course, but then theology, systematic theology, Baptist history, biblical hermeneutics, how to study the word, intro to Christian counseling. So how do you serve alongside people and be mindful of how the word informs us as people who interact with one another and those types of things. And so all of our programs kind of start with that biblical core and then build out into what they are seeking to equip you in. So that's a little bit just about our programs. The next thing I want to talk about just real quickly is scholarships as a Southern Baptist school. So we are, again, a part of the Southern Baptist Convention. Any student, some of you may be listening, and this may be you, any student who's a member of a Southern Baptist church and actively attending is offered a 50% tuition discount for being a member of a Southern Baptist church. And so we have a standard tuition rate, and that is applicable for all students. But then if you're a Southern Baptist student and you end up attending Texas Baptist College, then you're able to automatically receive a 50% scholarship off of that tuition rate. And then we do offer additional academic and need-based scholarships on top of that. So it's very affordable.
Baptist College, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to have to wrap you up too. Do you want to head to your last slide where they can see your contact information?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and just drop it in the chat. So again, my name is Lucas. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out about Texas Baptist College. Thanks.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We're going to go ahead and keep going now and hear from Texas Christian. Take it away whenever you are ready, TCU.
All right. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Dr. Tony Robinson. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions at TCU with a lens on access initiatives. I focus on recruiting students of color and students that are historically more marginalized. So even though we are a Christian school and we're heavily rooted in Christian values, we are here to educate individuals to think and act as ethical leaders and responsible citizens in the global community. So we are very diverse and open to all different types of faiths. We have over 60 faiths represented at TCU, and we have over 25 clubs that represent different types of religions. Now, as a student at TCU, you will be required to take a religion course. And what I like about this is it's not just a Christianity course. It can be a course that's cross-referenced with music. It can be a course that's cross-referenced with pop culture. So they're really diverse, and the curriculum is really diverse as well. We are really we're in the Big 12 conference and the smallest university in that conference. We are very undergraduate focused, 9,700 students at TCU with a very small population of graduate students. So you will be taught from your instructor and not from a grad student or a TA. Really small class sizes, 13:1 student faculty ratio. The biggest class that you may take may be 60 to maybe 70 students. And we're talking about your core classes like English, government, history, things of that nature. The statistic that I love to brag about the most is we have a 92% retention rate. So once we have our hands on you, we're going to make sure that you graduate and get that degree. We are a university that is really founded in a liberal arts foundation. And so all students will be required to take that core curriculum, the history, the government, the speech, that one religion course, and know that ethics is really woven into the curriculum across the board. We have over 117 majors. Our most popular and schools are the business school as well as the nursing program. We have engineering that's really popular, and we're really a school that prepares students to go on and further their education, whether it be graduate school or whether it be to go to medical school or whether it be to apply to law school. We have a pre-med health profession track, and we also have a pre-law track as well. So I'm going to get into some timelines, and some of these timelines are similar to my colleagues that spoke before me. But November 1st is our early action, early decision deadline. And that early decision, meaning that you're binding, saying that TCU is all the school that you want to be at, and you want to be a Horned Frog. And so early action is one that you just want to get your materials in early, and you'll get that notification by January 1st. And that's for early decision too as well. Our spring date is February 1st, and we have early decision and regular decision, and you'll get that notification by April 1st. And so May 1st is the date in which we are wanting to hear back from our students on what decisions they're deciding to make. We have a holistic process here at TCU, and so a lot of it is looking at academics. However, co-curricular activities outside of the classroom is really important. And I like to point out, a lot of students think that that is leadership in certain orgs or organizations or clubs, but it really can look, if you're a person that have responsibilities at home and you have to take care of siblings, or you have things that you have to adhere to home life, we consider that as leadership as well. So make sure that you list those things. And then essays is required. And then we have one letter of recommendation from a teacher and then one from a counselor. You can submit others as well. Something that we're doing new here at TCU is you can submit what we call a freedom of expression. So that can be anything from a TikTok video clip to an extra assignment. If you want to show off your academic skills, just anything that's going to showcase yourself and show us a little bit of personality of who you are. So the typical student that is admitted to TCU has a ACT range score of 28 to 32, a 1200 to 1380 score for the SATs, and then the typical GPA or median GPA is the 3.56. Now, I say all that to say we are test optional through 2023. So for our seniors right now and our juniors, you're test optional. If you're not a good test taker, don't worry about the ACT and ACT. If you are, by all means, go ahead and submit that in. So one of our taglines is take the lead in finding your passion. So lead on, we are creating leaders for the world. And so at the price of $66,000, that may seem like a lot, but I'm going to kind of break it down and go over how we kind of package our student with student aid and merit-based scholarships. So our tuition includes tuition and fees and books, your residence halls. All first year and second year students are required to stay on campus, and that includes your dining hall plan as well. So over about 75% of our students do receive some sort of merit-based scholarship. At the top of the screen, you'll see those general scores that students have in a GPA that they have that we're receiving the scholarships. Again, we are test optional. You do not have to submit your scores, your SATs and SAT scores to be in the running for a scholarship, but they range from 12 to 15,000 all the way up to full ride scholarships. And we have more of that information on our website. So I do want to lead in the presentation and say, follow us at TCU Admissions so that you can learn more about what we have to offer. We have events, virtual events all the time to learn more about the specific details about our admission process. I will drop some information into the chat box so that you all can get in contact with me. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, TCU. Another great presentation and a fantastic way to wrap us up with these individual presentations. I'm going to now ask all of our panelists to join me on video here. We only have time for one question, so I want to make sure it's a good one and give a chance for them to all share a little bit more about their institution. So my one question for all of our panelists here is, what is one thing that you want all of our attendees to remember about your institution today? We're going to go in the same order, kicking it off with Baylor. Go ahead and just take it away and answer after your colleague ahead of you finishes.
Perfect. Yeah. So I think the most important thing when it comes to Baylor University is just the size that we fill, right? You're going to hear a lot of these institutions as well. They're like a medium-sized university. So no matter where you go, having that personal attention with your professors, having more discussion-based classes as opposed to more lecture hall-based classes. I think that can't be overstated enough. So having that opportunity to really get to do that at a big school like Baylor University and still enjoy all of the D1 athletics and still enjoy all the smaller class sizes, it's just a very, very beautiful middle ground that we feel. And just apply. Honestly, that's my best advice. Just apply to us. It's a free application. You lose nothing on it. So go ahead and do it.
I'd say for Illinois Wesleyan, my biggest takeaway for y'all would just be our job success. So that's, of course, the end goal of college. We want to get you set up for success, and being able to be the #7 school in the US for 2 years in a row for job placement is really important to us. So we're excited to get you connected and happy to chat more. Thanks.
Sorry about that. I just want to encourage you guys to apply as well. That is going to be really easy to do at Ouachita. We're going to talk through scholarships, talk through what's most important to you a little bit later on down the road, but you might as well apply because it's free and there is no essay. So it takes about 20 to 30 minutes of your time of academic background, personal background information, and then just sending in that transcript and test score. The process is really, really quick for us. So I would love for you guys to go ahead and just do that and get that off of your checklist. And then we can talk about if this is going to be a good fit for you.
Yeah, I just want to leave you all with something that I feel like is the reason that I chose Samford, and why a lot of people stay at Samford is just that we're unapologetically a Christian university. So the love of Christ is just going to be felt in all aspects of campus, not just in requirements, but in everyday life and in the classroom. And you're going to feel known and wanted at Samford, and you're going to leave very well equipped to carry out not only your profession, but your Christianity as well.
Yeah, I would just add that one of the first things about Texas Baptist College to know about is, again, yeah, if you're serious about the gospel and serious about serving the church, then this is a great place for you to potentially attend. And then the second thing, just something really helpful in the recruitment process, admissions process, is visit campus. We've got great schools represented here. Applying is obviously really helpful to kind of start it, but really go visit campus, see where you should be applying and where you are going to be a good fit, and for a Christian school like us, where the Lord may be calling you to be.
So if I had to add anything and brag about TCU, it would be how we've handled the pandemic this past 1.5 years, going on 2 years. I'm really proud to say that all of our students have really felt like they still had a sense of a good academic experience throughout the pandemic, which can be kind of difficult. Students didn't feel like they were, locked up or closed into the residence halls. We had things and events happening outside on the lawn that made them feel very a sense of belonging in a community feel. TCU really does value community-oriented values and family. And so we're like not too big, but not too small. You can walk around campus and see your friends and know their names, as well as your teachers and instructors. Beautiful campus, a wonderful academic experience. So if you're interested in attending TCU, please contact us and get in contact with us. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, thank you all so much. I know that this is only the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to learn about all of these campuses and many others. So make sure you check out their contact information and get a hold of them. Unfortunately, we have to wrap it up now here, but I want to thank everyone for joining us. I want to start by thanking all of our panelists for giving their time and helping us learn about each of these wonderful campuses, and also thank all of you who joined us today. We hope that you found it useful. When you close your screen today, you're going to get a very quick 4-question survey, and it's going to ask you about this event so that we can get information on making them better in the future. I also put the link for you to find the recording for this event and all of the others. That is strivescan.com/yesprep. That's in the chat for you to check out later. And last but not least, there is still another session happening, so make sure you take a look at that schedule, jump into other sessions. All right, everyone, that is a wrap for us. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye now.